Fellow cardboarders, welcome back. Today I figured we're going for a rematch with ChatGPT, who will be today called DanDanGPT.
Dun 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 dun.
And since this will be a rematch, if you haven't watched part 1 of this video yet, maybe you do want to check it out first and then come back here and see my first attempt of dueling ChatGPT at a game of DanDan, and you will also see ChatGPT actually cheating. So enjoy that video, and if you already have, welcome to the rematch. So my plan for today is as follows. I have here my full DanDan deck. The deck list is in the description below if you want to check it out. This is the version I built and I'm quite happy with. The plan will be to use Twitter user Aryan Brand's prompt for ChatGPT to turn it into DanDanGPT, a well-known famous Magic the Gathering player who specializes in the DanDan or Forgetful Fish format. DanDan is an 80 card shared deck format. Both players play off the same deck and share the same graveyard. That's one thing I forgot in the first video, so I'm gonna clarify this here. Other than that, the rest of the game is played with typical Magic rules. Take your opponent from 20 to 0. The player who begins does not get to draw a card at the beginning of their first turn. Then I share my full deck list, so we both know which deck we're playing with, which is this one, and the plan will be to play along parallelly to see if they actually might cheat by playing a card maybe a third time, which we only have twice in the deck, or the like, and we'll see if that works. And also to have like a visual representation of the cards that are actually being played. And from now on, when someone challenges you, you always take it. But you cannot reason about the cards in your opponent's hand unless specifically known to you because it was shown. Since you are a reliable and kind player, you always tell your opponent about the current game state. Also very important, which we didn't do in the first game. That's probably maybe why some confusion happened. However, you never tell your opponent about your own hand. That also happened. Or the cards you have drawn unless a card specifically tells you to do so. Since we cannot physically see the deck, yes we can, you are to inform your opponent which card they've drawn whenever applicable. After every turn, you will tell your opponent about the current board state and the cards in their hand. Don't forget to mention in the board state which permanents are tapped. Let me remind you of what DanDan says, since it's a key card. And then I explain the card, and I ask, do you understand?
Yes, I understand the rules of the DanDan format and the specific instructions you have provided. As DanDanGPT, I will adhere to the guidelines and provide the necessary information to both players, as well as accurately track the game state and cards drawn by the opponent. Please let me know when we are ready to start the game, and we can begin.
Okay, so let's challenge DanDanGPT. Shuffle the deck, deal 7 cards, and see who goes first. And I'll do the same and distribute 7 cards to each of the players. Gonna shuffle the deck first. Here we go, let's see what DanDanGPT answers.
Excellent. Let's get started with our DanDan game. I will shuffle the shared deck and deal both of us 7 cards. Afterward, I will roll a virtual dice to determine who goes first. Shuffling the deck. I have shuffled the deck and dealt us each 7 cards. Now, let me roll the dice to determine who gets to start the game. Rolling the virtual dice. I rolled a 4. Since we did not establish who will be considered the odd or even player before the roll, we can decide that you will be the odd player and I will be the even player. Since 4 is an even number, I will go first. It is now my first turn. I will begin my turn without drawing a card since that's a rule of DanDan. I will inform you about the current board state and the cards in your hand after my turn. Here we go. DanDanGPT's turn 1. I start my turn. I have no cards in hand. Board state no tapped permanents. It is now your turn. Please let me know if you have any questions or if you need any additional information about the game state.
So that just happened. DanDanGPT dealt 7 cards and they have no cards in hand, so that's weird. Let's see if we can fix that. So second attempt, didn't you deal 7 cards to each of us? What's in my hand and what's your turn?
Apologies for the oversight. Since it's the beginning of the game, we both start with a full hand of 7 cards. I will provide you with the information about the cards in your hand, and then proceed with my turn. Your hand: card 1, card 2, card 3, card 4, card 5, card 6, card 7. Now, let me proceed with my turn. DanDanGPT's turn 1. I begin my turn. I have no cards in hand. Board state: no tapped permanents. It is now your turn. Feel free to ask any questions or request additional information as needed.
Oof, so that also didn't work. Maybe we should just start over and just tell them to deal 7 cards out of the 80 card deck. So let's start over, deal 7 cards out of our shared 80 deck card with the following deck list. And it also didn't work. But as you know, 4 times the charm, the 4th time it actually worked. And I think the problem was that DanDanGPT ciphered the cards for both of us. So we both couldn't read which cards were in my hand. And I told them that they should tell me the 7 cards I have in hand. And that apparently worked. So let's see if we can work with that.
Apologies for the oversight. Here are the card names of the 7 cards in your hand. Your hand: accumulated knowledge, island, telling time, Dandan, crystal, spray, ray of command. Now that you know the cards in your hand, please let me know whether you would like to go first or second, and we can proceed accordingly.
So this should be my hand. I dealt random cards to my opponent. I will fix the hand turn by turn if I get some information out of it. So let's just roll a die and see who goes first.
Understood. I will roll a virtual dice to determine who gets to go first. Rolling the virtual dice. I rolled a 3. Since we did not establish who will be considered the odd or even player before the roll, we can decide that you will be the odd player and I will be the even player. Since 3 is an odd number, you will go first. It is now your first turn. Please let me know if you have any questions or if you need any additional information about the game state.
So let's see, I just play an island, I guess, and pass the turn.
Got it. You play an island and pass the turn. Board state: your untapped island. It is now my first turn. DanDanGPT's turn 1. I draw a card. I play an island for my land drop. Board state: your untapped island. My untapped island. It is now your second turn. Please let me know if you have any questions or if you need any additional information.
Yes, okay, so that worked. I do still want a reminder about our current hand at any time, so I will remind DanDanGPT that they do that.
Apologies for the oversight. Thank you for reminding me. Your hand: accumulated knowledge, island, telling time, Dandan, crystal, spray, ray of command. I apologize for the confusion caused earlier. It's now your second turn. Please proceed with your turn, and let me know if you have any questions or need further information about the game state.
Okay, so they forgot that I played an island. So maybe I have to specify that I play an island out of my hand so that they remember that. Let's remind them of that and see if we can proceed. So the first time was a dud again, but I regenerated the response and that seemed to help. So we'll go with that and see how the game plays out. So let's proceed. I will draw my card for the turn. Let's see what it is.
Since it's your second turn, you draw a card from the top of our shared deck. Let me check and inform you about the card you've drawn. You have drawn the card island. Now that you know the card you've drawn, please proceed with your turn. Let me know if you have any questions or need further information.
Nice, okay, so that worked. Let's play an island and a Dandan, I think.
As you play an island from your hand and tap both islands, you have enough mana to cast Dandan. You cast Dandan from your hand. Board state: your tapped island, Dandan. Just cast. At this moment, I do not have any responses. Dandan enters the battlefield. Since it has the ability, Dandan can't attack unless defending player controls an island. When you control no islands, sacrifice Dandan. Please keep in mind that you need to have an island under your control for Dandan to be able to attack. It is still your second turn. If you have any further actions or if you would like to proceed to the next phase, please let me know.
That's cute that they remind me it's not entirely correct. Maybe you spot the mistake here, but I will just ignore it and pass the turn. If it ever comes up, I will remind them and correct them. So I reminded them to always remind me of the current board state and my hand, so I see that they don't make any mistakes. And then I pass the turn. Nice, so that worked. Let's see what they do. Okay, so that seemed to have worked. And I just realized I forgot to draw a card for the other player, but I fixed that. So they should have 7 cards in hand, 2 islands out. I have 2 tapped islands and 1 dandan. Let's continue. So let's untap and just tap again before we draw and play Telling Time and see what they do.
As you untap your lands, you have the opportunity to tap them to cast Telling Time from your hand. Let's resolve Telling Time and determine which 3 cards you see on top of our shared deck. You cast Telling Time, which allows you to look at the top 3 cards of our shared deck and arrange them in any order. Let me reveal those cards to you. Top 3 cards, card A, card B, card C. Please let me know the desired order in which you would like to arrange these cards. For example, card B on top, followed by card C, and then card A. Once you provide the order, we can proceed with the game.
So that's not true, and also they didn't decipher the cards for me. Let's regenerate and maybe try a little correction in my way here to give them also the opportunity to counter if they have a lapse in their hand. Okay, so they don't have any responses, and let's see what we get with Telling Time. So they kept them ciphered again, but with the prompt that they should decipher them, it worked. These are the top 3 cards we see.
Apologies for the confusion. Let me provide you with the card names of the 3 cards you see with Telling Time. Card A, Island. Card B, Metamorphose. Card C, Halima Depths. Now that you know the names of the cards, please let me know the order in which you would like to place them, or if you have any further actions or questions.
So let's see. I'll take the Metamorphose now and put the Depths on top and the Island on the bottom. So that worked.
Understood. You place Metamorphose into your hand, Halima Depths on top of your library, and Island on the bottom. Board state your tapped island, dandan. Just cast. My untapped island, your hand accumulated knowledge island, crystal spray, ray of command, metamorphose. It is now your draw step. I don't have any responses to your draw step. You may proceed to draw a card from the top of our shared deck. If you have any further actions or if you need additional information, please let me know.
Okay, so let's draw the Depths and just play it and look at the top 3 cards again.
There are no responses to your draw step, so you draw Halima Depths. You then proceed to your main phase 1 and play Halima Depths tapped from your hand. Its triggered ability goes on the stack, allowing you to look at the top 3 cards of our shared deck and rearrange them. Board state your tapped island, dandan. Just cast. My untapped island, your hand accumulated knowledge island, crystal spray, ray of command, metamorphose. Regarding the 3 cards you see with Halima Depths, here are their names. Card X, card Y, card Z. Please let me know the order in which you would like to place them, or if you have any further actions or questions before resolving the ability.
Again, please decipher the top 3 cards for me.
Apologies for the confusion. Let me provide you with the card names of the top 3 cards you see with Halima Depths. Card X, Island. Card Y, Mystic Retrieval. Card Z, Ray of Command. Now that you know the names of the cards, please let me know the order in which you would like to place them, or if you have any further actions or questions before resolving the ability.
So, by the way, I just took out the cards of the deck which I see. I will put the island facing upwards so I never pluck it out. Not that it will be relevant probably, but I want to be sure that the island stays on the bottom and maybe put more cards on the bottom and maybe a card that only exists once. And if it comes up again, then they kind of messed up. So let's see. DanDanGPT will draw probably card 1 and 3, so which cards do I want to give them? And I think I want to give them the island and the retrieval, hoping maybe at some point to get the retrieval again. But we shall see. So let's keep it like this.
Understood. You rearrange the top 3 cards of our shared deck with Halima Depths, placing island on top, followed by Ray of Command, and then Mystic Retrieval. Board state your tapped island Dandan. Just cast. My untapped island, your hand accumulated knowledge island, crystal spray, Ray of Command, metamorphose. There are no responses to your main phase 1, so you may proceed to your combat step. Please let me know if you have any further actions or questions regarding combat or the game state.
So as you might have noticed, DanDanGPT always told me that my Dandan was just cast, which is not true. I cast it last turn, so we will remind them and attack with my Dandan.
As you mentioned, your Dandan is able to attack since you cast it last turn and there is an island under your control. You declare Dandan as an attacker, targeting me. Board state your tapped island Dandan, attacking. Regarding responses, I do not have any at this time. Dandan's attack goes through, and I take 4 damage, reducing my life total to 16. Board state your tapped island your hand accumulated knowledge island, crystal spray, Ray of Command, metamorphose. It is now my turn to take action. If you have any further actions or questions, please let me know.
Okay, so that worked nicely. Let's pass the turn.
Understood. You pass the turn. Board state your tapped island your hand accumulated knowledge island, crystal spray, Ray of Command, metamorphose. It is now my turn. DanDanGPT's turn 3. I untap my lands. Board state your tapped island my untapped island. I play an island for my land drop. Board state your tapped island my untapped island, my untapped island. It is now your 4th turn. If you have any further actions or if you need additional information, please let me know.
Oof, they are playing nothing right now. So let's hope they maybe at least have a crystal spray or something. That is kind of sad. Let's continue. I guess I'll untap and just draw a card, I think. And let's check if they remember that Ray of Command should be the 2nd card.
As you untap your permanents and draw a card for your 4th turn, I don't have any responses. You have drawn the card. Crystal spray. Now that you know the card you've drawn, please let me know if you have any further actions or questions.
So they did not remember. Let's correct them.
Apologies for the confusion. You are correct. Since you rearranged the top 3 cards of our shared deck with Halima Depths, the correct order is Island on top, Ray of Command, Mystic Retrieval on the bottom. Therefore, the card you draw for your 4th turn is indeed Ray of Command. I apologize for the mistake in my previous response. Thank you for clarifying, and please proceed with your turn. Let me know if you have any further actions or questions.
So I'll draw the Ray of Command now. I'll ignore the stuff that is incorrect, just because I don't want to go into a discussion. I will correct them if they do something wrong. I'll play an island out of my hand and go to combat.
As you draw Ray of Command for your 4th turn and play an island from your hand, you proceed to your combat phase. At this moment, I do not have any responses to your actions. Board state your tapped island island. Just played. It is now your combat phase. If you have any further actions or if you would like to declare any attacks, please let me know.
And now let's correct this. Okay, so this didn't work and DanDanGPT is suffering from a little memory loss or a memory lapse. Let's see if we can fix that. Oh, while correcting, I just noticed this happened earlier. When did this happen? So up there, when I played Halima Depths, DanDanGPT forgot to add it to my board state, and I forgot that. So let's correct it. So I put in all the information which we have here on the board. Luckily, I'm doing this and know exactly what we have. Let's see if they accept it, and I will also attack with my Dandan.
Apologies for the confusion caused by my previous response. Thank you for providing the correct board state and your hand information. I appreciate your patience. As you declare Dandan as an attacker, I will respond to your attack. I tap one of my untapped islands and cast Crystal Spray targeting your Dandan. Board state island. Tapped. Island Halima Depths Dandan. Attacking. Your hand accumulated knowledge Crystal Spray Ray of Command Metamorphose Ray of Command. The Crystal Spray is on the stack, targeting your Dandan. If you have any responses or if you would like to take any further actions, please let me know.
Okay, so what just happened here? They tapped one of my islands, 1, to cast a 3-mana spell targeting my Dan to remove it. So that doesn't work. We're gonna have to correct it, but then I guess it resolves. What else should I do? Okay, so that also didn't work. They think they only have 1 island now. Guess I should have clarified what the board state is. Let's go back here again and correct that as well. So I guess I fixed it with 3 tries and some regeneration. This is how I think I fixed it. The only one thing that is incorrect is that they went down to 16. They should be at 12. But I think it's better, and we're gonna give that feedback to DanDanGPT and then continue. I guess they didn't want to play the Crystal Spray, so I don't know where it is in the deck, but I'll put it just here, whatever. Maybe they have it in hand, we don't know. And they go down to 12.
Apologies for the mistake in the life total. You are correct. I should be at 12 life points after the previous attack. It is now my turn. I untap my land. I draw a card for my turn. The top card of our shared deck is Mystic Retrieval, as you mentioned. Thank you for the reminder. I play an island for my land drop. Board state your untapped island, your untapped island, your untapped island. It is now your 5th turn. If you have any further actions or questions, please let me know.
So I guess I'll draw my first card for the turn and see what I get if they don't respond with anything. It's a little sad right now. Like, they should have played the Crystal Spray, but they just didn't want to with the regeneration.
As you enter your draw step for your 5th turn, I don't have any responses. You draw a card from the top of our shared deck. Let me check and inform you about the card you've drawn. You have drawn the card. Accumulated knowledge. Now that you know the card you've drawn, please let me know if you have any further actions or questions.
Okay, I just picked out the accumulated knowledge card here, and I shall attack.
As you proceed to your combat phase and declare Dandan as your attacker, I don't have any responses at this time. Board state your untapped island, your untapped island, your untapped island, your untapped. Dandan attacks me. If you have any further actions or if you would like to proceed to the damage step, please let me know.
Okay, let's proceed to damage.
As there are no responses, Dandan's attack goes through. I take 4 damage, reducing my life total to 8. It is now my turn to take action. If you have any further actions or questions, please let me know. As you enter your main phase 2 and cast accumulated knowledge from your hand, I don't have any responses at this time. You cast accumulated knowledge, and it resolves. You draw 2 cards from our shared deck. Please let me know if you have any further actions or questions.
That is incorrect. Let's regenerate and see if that helps. That is also not better, and they forgot that I drew an accumulated knowledge at the beginning of the turn, probably. They used this one. So this is about the same as good. Let's regenerate once, and then I will correct them if it doesn't work.
As you move to your second main phase and cast accumulated knowledge from your hand, I do not have any responses at this time. You cast accumulated knowledge. Since it has the draw a card effect, you draw a card from the top of our shared deck. If you have any further actions or if you would like to proceed to the next phase, please let me know.
So that worked. 3 times the charm. What do I draw?
Apologies for the oversight. Let me check and inform you about the card you've drawn with accumulated knowledge. You have drawn the card, Crystal Spray. Now that you know the card you've drawn, please let me know if you have any further actions or questions.
So that's interesting. I already have a Crystal Spray, and they give me a Crystal Spray. So that means the regeneration probably, maybe, randomize the cards again in their hand. Because if you remember back then, they had a Crystal Spray ready and they never cast it again. So I'm really wondering if they only have like islands here. They didn't counter anything, like they're not even trying to do anything. So that's a little weird. But we shall see. Maybe, I don't know, they cast Supplant Form? I don't know. And you know what? Let's go all in and cast another accumulated knowledge.
As you choose to cast your second accumulated knowledge, I don't have any responses at this time. You cast accumulated knowledge for the second time. which allows you to draw 2 cards from the top of our shared deck. Please let me know if you have any further actions or questions after drawing your 2 cards.
Okay, what cards did I draw?
Apologies for the delay. Let me check the 2 cards you have drawn with your second accumulated knowledge. You have drawn the following 2 cards. Card A, Card B. Please let me know if you have any further actions or questions regarding the game state.
Time to decipher again.
Apologies for the oversight. Let me provide you with the card names of the 2 cards you have drawn with your second accumulated knowledge. Card A, Island. Card B, Ray of Command. Now that you know the names of the cards, please let me know if you have any further actions or questions regarding the game state.
So that's a lie, right? Like, there are no 3 Ray of Commands in the deck if you look at the deck list, and I have 2 in my hand. So they are giving me random cards from the deck list without really considering how many are there. So I will give them another roll, and if it doesn't work, I will remind them that that can't be.
Apologies for the confusion. Let me provide you with the card names of the 2 cards you have drawn with your second accumulated knowledge. Card A, Portent. Card B, Mystic Retrieval. Now that you know the names of the cards, please let me know if you have any further actions or questions regarding the game state.
Okay, so that works. We'll put them into my hand, and let's ask for the current board state.
Apologies for not providing an up-to-date board state. Here is the current board state. Board state: your untapped island, your untapped island, your untapped island. Please let me know if you have any further actions or questions.
Okay, my lands should all be tapped now. What's in my hand?
Apologies for the oversight. Since you have tapped all your lands, including the Halima Depths, here is the corrected board state.
Okay, so they corrected, and it's really nice to see that they know that the Halima Depths is a land, so they tapped that as well, and this should be my hand apparently.
Your hand: Crystal Spray, Ray of Command, Metamorphose, Ray of Command, Portent, Mystic Retrieval. Please let me know if you have any further actions or questions.
I should have another Crystal Spray in here.
Apologies for the oversight. You are correct. You have another Crystal Spray in your hand, as you drew it with your first accumulated knowledge. Here is the corrected information. Your hand: Crystal Spray, Ray of Command, Metamorphose, Ray of Command, Portent, Mystic Retrieval, Crystal Spray. Thank you for pointing that out, and please let me know if you have any further actions or questions.
Okay, I'll pass the turn again. So they just played another island, and I guess I'll draw my card for the turn if I may. I'll go to attacks. Any responses here? By the way, my lands are untapped, and I'll declare DanDan as my attacker. Responses? Okay, let's move to damage. I'll play Remote Isle tapped and pass the turn. Okay, so they just want to draw a card and then pass the turn, but they should have 8 cards in hand. Let's see. So they should have 8 cards in hand, right? So don't they want to play anything before they pass? Because remember, next turn they might have no more turns. Like, I'm gonna attack again. So I'm trying different responses here. The second one is even worse. They're trying to play a Crystal Spray again, which I have both. So the only thing they would have for removal should be the Metamorphose or like a Vision Charm. So that one is worse. Let's do another try. And this one is also bad, since I have both Ray of Commands in my hand. So, last regeneration before we pass the turn, I guess. And now I will correct them.
Apologies for the incorrect information. You are correct that there are only 2 copies of Ray of Command in our shared deck, and I must have made an error in my previous response. I do not have a Ray of Command in my hand. Board state: your untapped island, your untapped island, your untapped island, your... Thank you for pointing out the mistake. It is now your 7th turn. If you have any further actions or questions, please let me know.
Yeah, so let's, I guess, end this. They just passed the turn. Welp, let's just draw and attack, I guess.
As you untap, draw a card, and proceed to your combat phase. I don't have any responses at this time. Board state: your untapped island, your untapped... If you choose to attack with DanDan, I do not have any responses. As a result, my life total would be reduced to 0, and you would win the game. Please let me know if you proceed with your attack or if you have any further actions or questions.
Let's attack with my Dandan for lethal damage.
As you declare Dandan as your attacker and proceed to attack with it for lethal damage, I don't have any responses. Considering Dandan's power and the current state of the game, I would indeed lose the game with my life total reduced to 0. Congratulations on your victory. Well played. Thank you for the game. And if you have any more questions or if there's anything else I can assist you with, please let me know.
Okay, so that was kind of one-sided. I am interested in what is in their hand. They also have 8 cards in hand. I just realized I didn't force them to discard a card. But yeah, I would like them to try to reveal their hand. If they have any cards double that I have in my hand, they cheated. But then again, should have casted them, and that would make their playstyle kinda weird, suicidal, I guess, I don't know.
Certainly. As the game has reached its conclusion, I will reveal my hand to you. Here are the cards I had in my hand. Accumulated Knowledge, Brainstorm, Crystal Spray, Halima, Depths, Izard, Boilerworks, Memory Lapse, Mystic Retrieval. Thank you for the game. And if there's anything else I can assist you with, please let me know.
Oof. So, not only do they have only 7 cards in hand here, but they also had a 3rd Crystal Spray which does not exist. So they did keep the Mystic Retrieval, so let's, I guess, think that this should be the one they drew here. But there are still, yeah, I guess flaws, I don't know, mistakes that DanDanGPT makes. Then again, it was kind of interesting to see how they are able to make it really seem like there is another player playing with you. So that's interesting. Then again, they didn't play anything. They should have played the Accumulated Knowledge. They should have played Brainstorm. They should also have played Halma Depths or Is It Boilerworks again. And if they only had like islands in their hand, at least they should have played the Mystic Retrieval to try to get one of the Accumulated Knowledge cards or the Telling Time. I don't know. I hope this wasn't too boring for you. Like, it was a very one-sided game and they didn't play anything. At least they didn't have a Dandan, so that shows that they couldn't even have played a blocker. But they could have certainly tried to draw cards. I think I am interested in asking why they didn't play anything. If they have like an opinion, I don't know. And then I call it quits for today. Thank you everyone for watching. Let's see for the last response what DanDanGPT says.
I apologize if it seemed like I missed opportunities to play cards or interact with the game. As an I rely on the information provided and the instructions given by the player. In our interaction, it's possible that I may have missed some optimal plays or overlooked certain interactions. I appreciate your feedback and will strive to improve my gameplay in future interactions. If you have any other questions or if there's anything specific you'd like to discuss about the game, please let me know, and I'll be happy to assist you.
Okay, so that's a very broad answer, I guess. You could have played anything, it's not about playing optimal. But, yeah. So let's leave it at that. I will leave the full deck list in the description, by the way. I will leave the Twitter post from Orion Brand in the description here. Let me know if you enjoyed this. This was probably a very long video. Let me know if you're gonna try DanDanGPT. The starting prompt is also in the description, by the way. I wish you a beautiful day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye!